folks, and thanks for joining us on the first edition of ExtraHop TL. Take a look at detection and response. I'm kidding. It's exactly what you think it is, a quick refresh of what you may have missed in cybersecurity for September. I'm Rachel Peppel.
I'm Paul Diddy.
And I'm Justin Carter. And just like Rachel said, each month we're going to recap some interesting stories from ExtraHop and other cybersecurity industry leaders. We have a heck of a lot to cover. So Paul, do you want to get us kicked off?
Let's do it. All right, first up, Halloween is almost here. But did you also know that October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month? We're big fans of both here at ExtraHop, and in the lead up to Halloween, we want to hear from you. So send us your tales of scary cyber threats and stories where you bested the adversary. You can submit them anonymously at the link in the post.
The key is anonymously, folks. That means that you can totally brag on yourself. Go for it. You know you want to. Now for a question. Do you have trust issues? I think the answer is obviously you work in cybersecurity, and let's be honest, it's because you should. With the rise of advanced attacks like supply chain attacks and ransomware, you have to stay prepared and honestly paranoid. Let's be real here. You also need to know who's on your network. The good news is our friends at Gartner have actually built a plan, excuse me, I can't talk right now, have actually built out a roadmap for an incident response plan to help you deal with supply chain attacks. That report is now available on extrahop.com. Justin?
Thanks, Rachel. So the complexity of the software supply chain increases risk for any organization. And as we learned from Sunburst this past year, these attacks are stealthy as well as destructive. So check out our industry report that focuses on financial services and the increased operational challenges brought on by the pandemic. You can learn how complete network visibility helps your business take back the advantage. And now over to Paul.
It's September, and many kids are heading back to school. And while parents are worrying about health risks during a pandemic, administrators are concerned with ransomware attacks, which increased 100% from 2019 to 2020. The spike can be partially attributed to online learning with personal devices. You can learn more about how schools and school districts can protect themselves and their students with RevealX 360 for education.
Paul, I have to say, as a parent, two things that I never thought I would be dealing with: ransomware and a pandemic, but we are where we are. And speaking of remote operations, moving from the classroom to the office, the pandemic caused a lot of organizations, actually honestly including ExtraHop, to kind of shut down their offices pretty quickly. And in many cases, that didn't just leave unmanaged plants to die, it also left a lot of unmanaged IoT devices. The thing is that those devices that are just sitting in your office, turned on, can become targets for all kinds of threat activity. In a recent blog, we actually dive into how ExtraHop RevealX helped to shut down an attack that occurred on a compromised print server. With RevealX 360, we found CNC beaconing on that device, and we were able to help our customer shut it down. Definitely go check it out. Justin?
Thanks, Rachel. So when it comes to credentials, a strong password for your username is useless if you send them across your network in the clear. Without encryption, you're basically handing over your credentials to hackers. You might as well put it in a group chat. You know this, of course, which is why you might be surprised to learn that it's a lot more common than you think. For more information, you can check out our blog or white paper on insecure protocols. Now over to Paul.
And in other news around the internet, Dark Reading recently published a story on this year's ransomware spike, which we've all been very aware of in the news. As security teams embrace new tools, they also need to keep an eye out for new attack vectors. So head over to their website to learn more about that. Rachel?
Yeah, Paul, for sure. On the ransomware front, nothing makes Americans aware of ransomware like a gas shortage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
rough. Anyway. Last but not least, if you're looking for a good podcast, definitely go check out our friends over at Security Weekly. And this month, we actually had ExtraHop principal engineer John Smith join them to talk about incident response and the importance of threat hunting, investigation, and damage prevention as part of your overall incident response plan.
And that's a wrap for this month's ExtraHop TLDR for September. I am Justin Carter.
I'm Paul Diddy.
I'm Rachel Peppel, and you can find all the stories we've discussed today on our blog by heading to the link below, extrahop.com/TLDR.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next month for more stories and all things cybersecurity. Stay safe out there.